Hey everybody, it's me, Jacob Wysocki. We're back in the mystery zone. Strap in, stretch out, toke up, crack open a cold one. We're going for a ride.
Today, we're giving this comedian a total transformation. They have no idea who or what they're about to become.
That's tight.
Once they see themselves in the mirror, they'll have to make up a character on the spot and then sit down with me for an improvised interview. This is very important, people.
Ready to see how everybody's lied to me and deceived me? I feel like there's wisps. I'm about to explode. I'm absolutely about to pop if I don't see myself. What's it gonna be? What's gonna... Oh, look at this piece of shit. Yeah, baby. Yes, 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 yes. All I know is that I am absolutely a piece of shit. Not a good guy, not a nice man. Let's see some accessories. Life of luxury.
I looked at your numbers. I came back from inside. I looked at your credit. We can get you a Nissan. We can get you a Kia. Or we can get you a used Subaru from 1994. Oh, look at these. I didn't even see these.
Thank you, everybody. God's here today. God is in you. God is in you. And certainly God is in you. Let's take a moment of silence except for me. I want to talk about tithing today. 10%.
I mean, this guy's fucking Mr. Miami. I'm the king of fucking Miami. I only get good cocaine.
I got a couple horses. I don't get on I race them. I make sure my horses fuck. I'm almost a billionaire. I gotta break a couple more backs.
Yeah, I didn't always have money, so that's how you know I know how to fucking spend it. You should have seen my teeth before this.
Oh my God. Guest is there. We just gotta get out. I'm serious. We all have a story to tell. And sometimes those stories need to be shared with the world. Good evening. I'm Big Michaelis back with another edition of Very Important People. Please introduce yourself.
Howdy, little lady. It's me, Hayes Steele.
Not little. Lady, that's not.
And you're witnessing a man who's about to become a billionaire.
Really?
Literally a few ticks away.
That's a nice watch.
Sorry I was early, my helicopter was fast.
So that's what was happening out there.
Yeah. Did you have a hard time parking your car? We had to clear it out for my chopper.
Well, my car got towed, actually.
Interesting, sorry to hear that.
Thank you for apologizing. Maybe I can borrow some of that money to get it out.
Hey, I don't do handouts.
Okay.
I didn't get where I am at by helping everybody along the way.
Well, Hayes, I'd love to hear a little bit about how we did get to where we're at. Tell me a little bit about Hayes.
Hayes is the new me.
Hayes is the new you. Who was the old you?
Fuck him. He was a piece of shit. He was a little fucking baby with no heart and no drive. He was lost. He lived in Orlando, Florida. Now I live in Boca Raton, baby.
Sort of 2 hours away.
Doug Duncan was a fucking loser. And I'm glad he's gone.
I'm sorry, your name was Doug Duncan?
I don't even remember him. The cash has made me blind to Doug Duncan.
Seems like you have a couple of pretty specifics about Doug Duncan.
What do you mean?
That he lived in Orlando.
Uh-huh.
And that he was poor.
Doesn't that sound like a fucking loser?
Orlando's a fine city.
It's a suburb for babies. It's a suburb for people who still need to suckle a teat.
Well, I understand. Hayes, I guess I want to
You mind calling me Hayes Steele every time you address me?
You want me to call you Hayes Steele every time I
the way it
address you?
sounds, and it was expensive to change.
Okay.
Have you ever changed a name legally?
My husband changed his last name to Michaelis.
Wow, what a cuck.
I said I didn't want to change any names, and he said he wanted to feel closer to me.
It was his idea?
Yep.
I'm happy for you.
Okay, well, thank you. Hey, Steele, you were Doug Duncan.
I used to be.
Tell me about Doug.
Doug's the complete opposite of who I am now. He had no confidence. He worked for other people.
Where did he work?
He worked at all kinds of places. He sold cars.
Ah.
He worked in kitchens,
Ooh.
doing dishes. He was sort of a bottom of the barrel employee. He worked at an Arby's for a short period of time, but he got burnt by the fryer.
Where did he get burned by the fryer? Okay, so.
Not where you think. It was just his hands.
Oh, I see. That's exactly
And
what
I'm going to refer to Doug Duncan as a dead man, if that's okay.
Well, hey, you do what you got to do, and I'll.
Hey, Doug's dead.
Hey, Doug's dead?
Hey, Doug's dead.
So Doug Duncan, sort of working job to job in Orlando, not terribly happy with his life, lacking confidence.
He was a fucking scab.
Was a scab?
Not like a union scab. He was like something that needed to be picked and healed.
How did we end up here?
Well, Doug Duncan happened to win a reality TV show called The Longest Journey, where he won $1 million for racing around the world.
Okay, and we actually have a clip of the moment that you won. So if we can go ahead and take a peek there.
God, I haven't watched this footage in years.
Yes! 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 Doug Duncan has won the longest journey! I won! And my life's gonna change forever! Yes! 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 I don't have to be me!
Wow.
Wow.
So let me ask, because the prize for this show is $1 million
Yep.
after taxes, things like that. That obviously wouldn't make you like rich like the man that I'm seeing
No, I
before
had
me.
continued to live a bleak life as Doug Duncan for several years.
Sure.
I invested the money. I'm actually a new sort of almost billionaire.
Yeah, I
This
can
is
tell.
new for me. I've only been living this lifestyle for about 4.5 months.
So what happened between the show and this moment right here?
I scrapped along as a piece of shit human being, knowing that my investment would pay off.
I wouldn't call somebody that works in a restaurant a piece of shit.
The people who hold the fabric society together, they're just in your way. They're there to suck up resources. They're there to get the fun for you, but it's my fun. It's my time. It's my turn.
I've sort of said similar things to the crew, and they're like, that makes you a bad person. And I said, I don't think so.
Don't let them tell you that. That means they think you're weak, all right? In a world of money, you better be a fucking shark. You understand me?
Yeah, I understand.
Drop of blood in the water, you find it. You feel the electricity in a room and you fucking put it out unless it's pointed at you.
Right. So what happens between 4 months ago and now that presents the man that we see today, Hayes Steele?
I don't know. I think I was about, maybe 22 when I won that show, and
Sure.
I'm 37 now.
You're 37?
Yeah, it's been a hard run. But as soon as the money fully maturates, I'm sure I'm going to be able to turn it all around.
You don't have the money right now.
No, I've got most of it. I'm just waiting for it to fully crank into the billions before I go hog wild. I'm touching it. I'm spending it, baby.
Yeah.
Come on.
I'm seeing some new.
You're only as old as your teeth.
Is that true?
Yes, and these are the teeth of an 18-year-old. Plucked them.
How?
It was technically a volunteering effort, but I did pay the family well.
But like, what are the numbers looking like? Because what I'm hearing is you won the show, you
Yes.
started spending that
I won $1 million.
post-tax, pre-taxes.
After taxes, it came out to be about $475,000.
They took over 50%?
Yeah, it's crazy. I didn't have an LLC at the time or an S Corp, so they just took it straight for me. And now, after some extremely smart investments in Chinese chemicals and private prisons, I have $887 million.
Whoa.
That's the big difference.
Private prisons?
Yeah.
Where?
Yeah.
Different places?
Mostly in Central Asia, Azerbaijan, Afghanistan, the stands.
Or
yeah.
the United States or for those countries?
Okay,
so
don't
maybe
dig too deep.
Put a pin
Don't dig too deep.
Put a pin in that.
Yeah,
Don't
yeah.
come get me.
What chemicals, right? What do they make when you mix them together?
What do they make when
Certainly
you mix
not
them
crack
together?
cocaine. Not cocaine.
Cocaine.
No,
Sort of sending
that'd be
you back home.
impossible.
Okay, I'm not hearing this conversation, right?
You're not.
Okay, so.
You're not, because you're not going to fuck this over for me. Anyways, yeah, I just made a couple smart investments. I waited my time. I waited 15 years or whatever, right?
Yeah, 15.
What's the math on that? Someone do the math on that?
Somebody can do the math on that?
22 to 37. Somebody do the math on
We can do
that?
it quickly.
What's the math on that? You know what's great about being wealthy, almost having $1 billion?
Tell me.
I don't have to do much thinking.
Hayes Steele.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
I like the way your eyes light up.
Really?
There's something about you that I know I can change.
Okay, well, I spend a lot of time going, who am I? I can be anybody you need me to be, you know?
You should be who you wanted to be. Because you know Doug Duncan?
Sure.
Doug Duncan always fucking knew about Hayes Steele.
Really?
He was always deep down inside there. He was just waiting to come out.
So you spent all this time, there was 15 years there. You knew he was there. He was always coming out. What is the moment where you go, now is the time to strike?
I cranked that $800 million mark. And I said, I'm almost a billionaire. It's time to start living like one.
You had mentioned earlier, you had friends, you had a partner.
Doug did.
Doug had a girlfriend. If
Yeah.
we can just pull up an old picture, and I'm seeing, in this photo, you two look very, very happy together.
I don't think she'd appreciate her face being on this program.
Okay, so we're gonna blur that.
We'll
We can go
blur
ahead
it
and
out.
Blur that.
Yeah. That was the love of Doug's life.
Well, tell me about her.
Oh, her name was Jen.
Jen.
Jen was getting in the way. Jen was perfect for Doug in every fucking way. She put up with Doug's bullshit. She'd help him get up. She'd make sure that he ate a lunch. She was a teacher, but not only did she teach, she taught.
What do you mean by that?
She didn't teach, she taught. She didn't run, she ran. Do you understand? There's somebody who's one thing and then there's somebody who's two. Jen was more than two.
3?
She was 4 things. She was my girlfriend, she was my Bobby, she was my best friend, and she was my confidant.
I see.
That's what every boy needs. He needs a girlfriend and a Bobby.
What happened between you and Jen? You get close to $1 billion, she starts getting in the way.
She didn't want the cash. She didn't want to be in the big bucks.
I see.
She wanted a adorable, modest life.
Your legs are getting further and further apart.
I'm just getting finally relaxed here. I'm
I
finally
see.
getting relaxed,
Well,
okay? My
so she's-
Percocet's kicking in.
She's getting in
and
the
I'm
way of
getting
$1 billion.
relaxed.
And so from what we understand, you're...
I left her in the fucking dust, all right? The money started coming in, and it started looking hot, and I got a ring,
Right.
and I didn't put it on her fucking finger, and I kept it for me, because I deserved it, because I beat a man in a race, and she didn't like who I was becoming, and so I fucking left her in the dust. Just like I left Doug in the dust. And yeah, we had plans. We had big plans. Marriage. We had the name for the kid picked out. We had it all. The names for the grandchildren picked out.
You don't get to pick names for grandchildren.
Let's break it down for a second.
No. You didn't take a sip of that water.
I'm not allowed to drink because of my teeth. I'm purely IVs.
I see.
Do you have any cucumbers?
Cucumbers? Yeah, we can get you some cucumbers. Why don't we get somebody to run to the store for cucumbers?
Great, that's
Look
awesome.
at that. You don't have Jen, but who do you have now?
Well, you know, I've adopted a boy.
So you have a son.
I've got a boy.
What do you mean by that?
I was abroad in Poland and I hired a local pilot
Right.
to fly me out to Central Asia so I could adopt a boy from one of my private prisons. Babies are actually very valuable.
What do you mean by that?
You know, you take a crop of young kids and you set them aside for 18 years and teach them exactly what you need to know and where to go and what to do.
Sort of like an army of babies?
Depends what you want.
Okay.
Maybe you want them to fight into another country. Maybe you're holding them so they can start a war. Maybe you've got an entire crop of boys that you're holding, educating, making them into perfect men to inherit your money. Do you want to be one of my boys, Vic?
Are you asking me to be one of your boys?
I wouldn't come here on a helicopter if I wasn't serious.
Because I sort of have a stepdaughter and she sort of does.
I don't care about your boy.
Right.
That boy can be my boy and I can pick its name.
You know what? I would love to be your boy. I just sort of like to have a family. So, in diversifying your portfolio, you purchased this building, Dropout Studios. Is that correct?
I am now the owner and author of Dropout Studios.
And that's actually how you ended up on the show today. You purchased the land and said, this is mine now.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and tighten things up. There's a little bit of fat on the studio.
Agreed.
I mean, you're actually lucky because I talked to my guys, right? I called up my boys. I said, Rico.
It's a rental.
Rico.
Right.
Rico. I picked up
Rico.
the phone. I said, Rico, I'm thinking about getting some land and turning it into a parking lot.
Huh.
And I looked at some spaces in the greater Los Angeles area, flew over from Boca on my
Right.
private heli.
I really made a statement this morning in the parking
It's
lot.
loud, it's brash, it's in your face. You can't deny it.
It sort of seems like it did that to your hair. Because, you know, so your hair sort of
It's a
windswept.
cheap hit. That's a cheap hit to go for how I look.
No, I'm not saying, I think it looks
cheap
good.
hit.
I was just saying it sort of was like, you know, the helicopter sort of went,
I'm gonna go ahead and have Rico call you. He's gonna give you a new bottom line, all right?
for how much we can spend on the show.
Yeah. I don't think you're gonna have all these fancy cameras. I mean, we probably only need 2 to shoot this show, really.
Well, we need
You
the
know,
2, and then, you know, sort of, this guy sort of moves over, and then watch this. So we can't do that on these. Watch this. Can't do it. Doesn't work, so just, and still.
You're
And
fired.
Fired?
He's fired.
No, so you're gonna, well, we do need,
At the end of
that's
the day,
Cooper. And
at the
Cooper
end of the
actually,
day,
you're staying, so.
at the end of the day, I'd like your tripod packed up, and I'd like the camera in a box, and I'd like to see your final day paperwork.
How about that? I'll chat with Rico. We'll figure that out later.
All right.
Well, have you done the tour of the studio?
You know what? I probably should get a lay of the land.
A tour of the
Let's
studio.
do it.
Okay, all right. So maybe, and so Cooper's really important for this part. Okay, and so I'm just gonna sort of, here you go, sir. And then, ready? And, okay, well, okay, sorry. And I'm just gonna, if we can just, so, and there we go. And there we go. So there.
I can't walk on carpet.
So this is an accessibility issue, guys. So maybe let's get rid of the carpet.
Not
we
much
got
to
this.
see, not much to look at. I bought this.
And
huh?
sort of then if you come through here.
I can't. I gotta catch my breath.
Okay, this is our coffee station. I get a little bit of this.
Yeah.
You want some coffee? Oh, because
Yeah, really
right,
good.
of course.
Really tasty.
And so-
That's a
and
good
then-
brew. Who brewed that? Maybe they could host the show. That's good coffee.
My part hosting the show?
Yeah, sure, why
Well, no,
not?
I'm kind of
Maybe you
valuable
could test
here.
it out.
And I need to be here because actually, well, and you know, I got a lot of options. I'm actually interviewing over at MSNBC.
Hey, come here.
And I could have been over there and I'm choosing to be here, right? What are you doing?
Just go ahead and get some cucumbers.
Why do you have so much cash?
I'm a boss. I'm Mr. fucking Miami. I got a wad on me.
Come on this way. Let me show you the end of it. So this is staff only. I'm staff. So we can come on in here after you, sir.
All right.
Just like keep up the pace. I'm trying to help you here.
These could go. We could get rid of these. We
Well,
could
no.
put these on offer up.
An offer up?
We could put that on offer up. We should put this on offer up. You don't need two. You don't need a toaster, oven, and a microwave.
Actually, I insisted upon this because you can't put
So
pizza.
then we'll
We
put
do a
this on
pizza.
offer up.
Okay, so.
Or go to the whole
Yeah,
thing.
so we're
All right.
gonna do the tour. How you feeling? You need a break?
I'm good.
You're not an on-camera talent, so we need you sort of like, you're not on camera, and so like all the way through that door. Wonderful. So we're gonna sort of pop on through
You
here.
take these down. The labor laws. We're gonna get these out of there.
I've been saying that forever.
Yeah, I'm not non-union. I run a non. It's fully non-union.
It's not, except
it's
for me.
fully sweatshops.
Yeah, yeah.
Fully sweatshops.
Can't say sweatshop. So this is sort of the bill.
Do you let these people out?
Nope.
You let them out?
I locked the door and we opened it
Okay,
at 5:30.
cucumbers. Cucumbers.
So come back
Cucumbers.
on through. And then we got sort of, you know,
I gotta be
blue-
honest. I'm underwhelmed.
By the studio?
I'm very underwhelmed. Yeah.
Well, we got the lights are down
Uh-huh.
right now. I think
Yeah.
might be the problem. So let's
I
get you
don't
back
know.
on
Yeah.
back on set.
Okay.
Okay, and so it's the carpet. And so I said carpet out.
I'm gonna flop. I'm gonna flop.
Okay. You can't put that on the camera. You just took my sugar.
Ah!
And that's what that is.
It's a beautiful space. It's a really beautiful space.
You think so?
You know what I noticed about the space?
I would love to hear.
You own it.
I own it?
You own it.
Okay, well that's very kind of
Not
you
on
to say.
paper. Metaphysically, you move through this space excellently.
For now.
In full dynamics.
In the meantime.
Crescendo, decrescendo.
I got a couple other opportunities.
Ah, now you're being a shark.
Okay.
You got a sense of blood somewhere else and you're swimming towards it.
Well, you know, I sort of my name's in the mix for, do you know Rachel Maddow?
Yeah, I heard of her. She smells like corn and turkey soup.
Well, she's scheduled to get sick for 2 weeks. They have to schedule her illnesses.
Is shove it into once, right?
Well, that's it exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Don't
so,
wait for the winter, don't wait for the fall. We're gonna give it to you when we want it.
What other investments do you have right now?
I did all the euthanasia for SeaWorld.
What? Like putting down like whales and things like that?
Mm-hmm.
How does that make money?
People have to show up. It's a big needle. It's a lot of gas.
I guess that's true. And I guess that's sort of a job a lot of people want to be doing.
Honestly, I'll be serious with you. That's probably the most fucked up thing I've ever done.
You're doing it personally?
Absolutely. Nobody else wanted to do it. That's why it was such a moneymaker. Nobody wanted to do it. It was a horrific, horrific thing to do. They're beautiful creatures. They deserve to be free.
Yeah.
But I had to kill them.
I guess you sort of did free them.
Here's the big lesson. Enough people protest, people will die. You think you're saving lives? You're not.
So they were healthy? You were just putting them down because people were protesting?
People were like, we don't like this. We don't get this. Why are they in small tanks? We have to fix this. And you can't just put them back into the ocean. You can't put a caged bird back into the rainforest. So we've got
Okay.
that, of course.
Right.
I do have a chronic farm.
What is a chronic farm?
It's a farm where we put people with chronic pain out of their misery.
Okay, what?
It's another euthanasia
Well,
gig.
because you said chronic farm, and I was like, oh, maybe a marijuana.
I don't touch the stuff. I only do snow.
You bought that Alpine Resort.
Absolutely. That's another part of the real estate. But I'm actually going to demolish that and put homes on it.
You're digging out the
It's
mountain.
going to be called Snoko Raton. It's Boca Raton's snow location.
That makes sense.
$927 million.
That's a standard watch.
Yes, they're coming in. That billion's getting closer and closer, baby.
Do you need to make a call or anything?
Nope. Nope.
Okay.
That's why I'm here. I don't really have anybody to share the good news with, and so I thought I'd broadcast it out into the wild. That's why I bought the studio. I didn't have anybody to share the good news with.
You sort of bought a studio for friends.
Not even friends. I don't actually like any of you, and I don't think any of us would really hang. I don't think you guys are down to party.
Same. I don't, not for me, but just sort of the general consensus.
Yeah, it seems like a bunch of fucking softies and a bunch of pillow layers. You know what I mean?
Pillow layers?
Yeah, people who just want to sleep.
Sleep.
Yeah.
They do like sleeping.
But I thought, you got to share the news with somebody. I can't just fucking sit in a mansion and become a billionaire.
I'm so happy that we got to be those people for you. We have a segment called Rapid Fire Questions, and I think I'd like to ask you some of those.
Let's hit it.
Okay.
Fast.
Where are you getting
Go.
that from? It's like the
Big.
air. What is your least favorite book?
The Bible.
Why?
It's too long, too big, too many of them.
Okay, that's fair
Imagine
enough.
if you had every book in every hotel, how much money you'd make.
I think that's the Gideons, and I think they do that for free.
Jealous.
What is your nightly wind down routine?
I pop myself full of oxygen, and then I run an IV so I get my liquids. And then I use my boy's blood, and I put my boy's blood in me, and it makes me feel good, and it makes me feel young. And then I have a bunch of bugs scrape my skin and eyes.
Every night?
Every
When
night.
do you sleep?
After the bugs scrape my skin and eyes, I get out, I take a cold plunge, I get on the phone with Joe Rogan, just say hey, and then I go to bed. Talk to Joe almost every night.
Nice that you have a friend, even if it's a friend that maybe isn't
I'm paying him.
more of an employee in that situation. Last but not least, a question that I ask each and every one of my guests. What is the meaning of life?
The meaning of life is to make so much money that you can be whoever you want, whatever you want.
Who do you want to be?
Hey, Steele.
Are you sure? Because we actually found a video, and it seems like one that Jen took of you right prior to your breakup, and it just gave us some interesting insight to you.
Look at that fucking loser.
Morning. I love you so much. I hope nothing ever changes. You make me feel so whole.
How'd you find this video?
Doug looks so happy.
You know, babe, I don't need anything else. Me, you, and a dumb plan. Thanks for everything you do, baby.
I don't need that. I don't want that. I never wanted that. That's not what I wanted at all. I wanted this! I wanted to be Hayes! I wanted to be Steel! I wanted to be cold as fucking ice! I don't want to see that shit, all right?
Turn that off. We're gonna turn that off.
I don't fucking need that! Bad boy!
Sorry.
It's a bad son!
You're a bad son. So, clear that. Hey. Hey. Oh.
Fuck! I'm just fucking
Come on,
done!
hey, come on, Dad.
Jen!
Here we go. So we're just gonna
I
pop
miss
that-
Jen. I
pop
fucked
that
up.
right back in there.
I fucked
It's
up.
fine. So just, and we're just gonna, something is beeping.
Please.
Okay, hey,
you.
hey.
What?
You hit $1 billion.
Oh, hell yeah. Fuck yeah. All right,
Okay,
to the
so-
helicopter. I'm gonna go spend this cash.
Okay, so I'm Vic Michaelis reminding you to be true to yourself unless you'd rather be somebody else. Good night. So, can I come?
Chopper's getting cold, kid. Let's go, baby.
Okay, so I am coming. So, okay, well, hey, hold on. Nuts. So, nuts.
Just grab my cucumbers.
Your cucumbers? Okay, did somebody get cucumbers for my dad?